Okay, MATH098 for fall 2021. We are here and we want to make sure that you understand exactly what you need to do for this class. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and head over to our Canvas. So let's go ahead and share screen. All right. Can everybody see my Canvas screen share?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Now, with that in mind, you need to start here. All of these materials here at the top should be done. You should already have watched the introduction video, access the syllabus, and we'll go through what's my grade in a minute. You should already be logged into Delta Math and Edpuzzle. You should already have those accounts set up. And honestly, at this point, you should probably start using those, as well as making sure you're doing the Canvas discussions. Now, real quickly, if we go to what's my grade? For some reason, the internet is not being extra speedy today, but that's all right. The kicker here is you will work from top of the modules to the bottom of the modules, starting with Unit 1. Every single week, you will get 10 points for the practice work for a given section in Delta Math, 10 points for the Edpuzzle instructional videos and questions, 10 points for participating in that week's discussion, and 30 points for the test. Now, let's be very clear. Each unit, because we're in a full semester, a unit may be 2 weeks long. So what would you get for a unit that's 2 weeks long? 10 points each week for Delta Math, 10 points each week for Edpuzzle, 10 points each week for the discussion, and 30 points each week for the test. So basically in a unit, Delta Math becomes 20, Edpuzzle 20, discussions are 20, and the test at the end is 60. So regardless of how many weeks a section takes, the ratio of points stays the same. What you'll notice is that in essence, 50% of the class is test-based and 50% of the class is your work either in Delta Math, Edpuzzle, or the discussions. Does that make sense, everyone, for the ratio of points for each week?
Yes.
Cool. And so everybody understands that each unit, you have 3 things to do, then the test each week. All right, with that in mind, you should already be working on functions and graphs because it's due August 29th. Now, if I'm looking here, that is not this coming Sunday, it's the following Sunday at midnight. So you have 10 days at this point to get done with functions and graphs, all of this. So starting right here at the top, start with the slide deck. And work your way down. Every slide, watch the Edpuzzle, do the Delta Math. If you need notes, that's great. All worksheets are for your benefit. They are not required. You do not need to turn them in. They're for your benefit. So does this make sense for what each unit, how to find the work for each unit?
Yes.
Good, excellent. And so obviously, has everybody here been able to log in to Edpuzzle and get your account up and running and start working through these Edpuzzles right here?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, do not try to do all the Edpuzzles at once. Some people try to think, well, I'm going to make this easy on myself. They go to Edpuzzle and they try to start working down. They try to start working down the Edpuzzle list and just try to go top to bottom. The challenge there is not everything is going to be in order or up to date. It is intended for you to follow along right with the slides, watch the video, then go practice. Watch the video, then go practice. So make sure that that's kind of how you're approaching this, because these dates will change. In fact, you'll notice up until 2 days ago, the dates were all kind of in the past. I set a bunch of them to October 5th. But those dates are set further out than they're due, because I have some students with late starts and I have some students with private needs. So the due date that you guys need to pay attention to are the due dates right at the top of the modules. When it says due by August 29th, that's when all the Edpuzzle for this section is due. Same thing for Delta Math. Any questions on due dates on there?
So for week 1 discussion, where it says August 15th through 21st,
Yep.
that's still due the 29th then?
You know what? Usually on the discussions, I don't get real wound up. Ideally, you would have it done by the 21st, because that's done during that week. But if you miss one, or if you're running late on one, just email me. I'll extend it and let you turn it in a little bit later. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So ideally you would do them during that week, but sometimes, you know, we're talking with adults in an adult class. Sometimes things need to flex a little bit, and I can flex with that. Just let me know. Easiest way, shoot me an email. So Amy, does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. So when you're ready for the test, you can do the test in Delta Math. Ladies and gentlemen, do not start the test in Delta Math until you are actually ready for it, because it is a timed test. It is a timed test. So if you start that test, if you start that test before you're supposed to, then it will start the clock and you won't be able to finish that test in time. So if I take a look at, let's say here, 098 functions and graphs assessment. In this case, you have 3 hours. Now that's plenty of time to take a test. But if you click on that test and look at it and go off and go do something else, that clock keeps ticking. And so you will run out of time. So make sure that you get done with the slide deck first. Make sure you have your Delta Math and your Edpuzzle all done before you do the assessment. And so in the grade book, it will show what you got on the assessment, what you get for the Edpuzzle for that unit, and what you get for Delta Math on that unit. One other question that I do tend to get is I have to put in the Edpuzzle and the Delta Math into the Canvas gradebook. Some people like looking at the Canvas gradebook. They say, well, I did a whole bunch of Delta Math, or I did a whole bunch of Edpuzzle, but my Canvas grade didn't change. It won't change until I update it. And normally I update grades on a Monday or a Tuesday. So that's when you will see the grades move. Usually when I update grades, I also email out to everybody, hey, this is where you should be in the course. The grades have been updated. Take a look. If you have any questions, let me know. That kind of thing. So that's what those are there for. You don't necessarily do anything for this checkpoint. You will just need to know that that grade will go in there at that time. So you need to have Unit 1 done by August 29th. The next one will be due September 12th, then September 26th. And I basically set them every 2 weeks until we get down to polynomials and factoring, because polynomials and factoring are the toughest stuff in the class, and I give you extra week to help work through that. But don't get behind. The biggest thing is don't get behind in this class. If you do for any reason, or if life comes up, you need to email me and we need to put a plan together to make sure that you can get caught up. And that's why I say don't look at the due dates in Delta Math. Don't look at the dates in Ed Puzzle, because as we go through the semester, I will have to adapt those and change those based on what some people in the class may need. You know, last semester I had a lady that had a pregnancy and she needed some extension on some of the work because of health needs. And so things like that happen. My goal is for you guys to be successful in the class. So every week, do the discussion. Every week, make sure you're working on the Ed Puzzle and the Delta Math for the unit. Make sure the test is done on time. Okay, can everybody still see me and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I just got an internet unstable warning. At this point, I know you should have seen it in the email, you should have seen it in the video, and now we've seen it here live. For those of you that are here live, you're done. You get credit for this assignment. I'll put it in the grade book. For those that aren't here live, okay, I'm going to convert this recording into another Ed Puzzle that they will have to watch and complete the Ed Puzzle. But you guys, if you're here live, you're marked off, you're good, you get credit. Okay. For those that aren't here, they need to complete the Ed Puzzle to receive credit for this meeting. This will be the only mandatory meeting, which means either show up live or I send it out as an assignment. So that's the only ones that are mandatory. Otherwise, the Wednesday meetings, I'm going to try to log in and just try to be helpful. If you have questions, you have trouble, but don't necessarily wait until Wednesday to get help. Email me. Email me is the easiest thing. Mr. Moore, I'm running behind. Mr. Moore, I'm having trouble. Mr. Moore, I'm whatever. Email me. Be happy to help you out. Okay. Kayla, Louise, Shannon, Amy, and Nate, do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right. If not, feel free to log out. That's what I needed from you. It's just yet another thing so that hopefully I don't have to answer 98 emails of, do we have to do the Ed Puzzles, or do we have to? Yes, you have to do these things. They have to be done each week. So done this class enough to know that sometimes it takes a couple different ways to get it to you. All right. Otherwise, you guys can log out. Thanks, guys.
Welcome.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.